Hello there, and welcome back to Inner Sanctum, the place where I showed you all Mac tricks while putting them off live right in front of you. And today we're coming back to Harrison Mixbus 11, the software that, in my opinion, has opened up the opportunity for them becoming successful in when it comes to DOS. Why am I saying such a thing? Well, because of how many improvements have been added to this particular version of Harrison Mixbus. And I don't know about you, Thiago Remy, the son and Brett, who is saying hello to Girls and the Voice from time to time, of course, beautiful as well.
Hello, Girls and Voice, how's it going? Very glad to be back. It's great to have you here as well.
So professional looking, look at that, wearing headphones and stuff.
Yeah, but by wearing headphones, I see that my voice is very low.
Well,
even perhaps not going through my
it
microphone.
might not be coming through, yes. Check once again your voice.
Yes, so speaking to
Check your microphone, man, it could be the microphone itself.
microphones.
Because I'm not getting any signal in. Okay, well, he fixes the microphone. Let's listen to the track. So here we go. Take us to the software. Perfect. Welcome back to Harrison Mixbus 11. Hey. In front of us, got the product that we're going to be using to mix the track. So as usual, we're going to begin giving a listen to what we have got so far. And once the mix is over, well, the playback is over, we're going to discuss what do we think about it. Okay? So here we go from the top. Okay, it's actually sounding very good. I gotta admit. While Tag was playing, I was actually taking notes. That's actually something that I usually do. Why? Because I prefer to have them just by at the throne of stone rather than having to dig around with my mouse trying to find the proper comment section, right? And also, I can doodle and do all sorts of obscene imagery on my notepad for free. And Robbie, hey, how is it going? And yes, rip Ozzy Osbourne indeed. Great member of Black Sabbath. I'm gonna put it that way. No, and I actually happen to be a huge fan of his solo stuff, being very frank with you. And yeah, I think he was 76, right? When he passed away yesterday.
78?
Something
Maybe?
like that. Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's how can I put it surprising due to his lifestyle, but is not necessarily happy for his family. So of course, respect is due. And also happen to be a fan of Black Sabbath, big fan of Black Sabbath, and actually happen to be. I also love his solo stuff as well, as I mentioned before. So now, what we're gonna be doing tonight, as the title of this video implies, we're gonna be working on the mixing of the synthesizers, which is basically mixing the song. How redundant, right? But while the track was playing, my notes, I decided to leave some notes regarding the vocals and regarding the bass sound. Not the main driving force for the bass of this track, which is this synthesizer that is, I think, it's Mariana. And we're going to be working with the actual bass, which is this guy over here is already selected. Why? This bass, let me take a look at the edit so we can see exactly where does it takes place. Right from the beginning, but I think I applied a filter. So let's see. Kick in. We're going to be taking a look from there. Kick in. Here we go. It sounds like this. Bass. Where the hell is my bass? There's. It's actually a bass guitar, right? The thing is that it's a little bit kind of nasal sounding. And I can see that we already applied not necessarily an insane amount of EQing, but now with the mix starting to feel more put together, this bass tone is not cutting through. So we're going to have to use an extra layer of EQ. Just a quick reminder of how I'm working with this. I am using the built-in channel strip, which sounds amazing, as a kind of like the shaping tool that I use to make sure that my bass, in this case, it's already presentable and it's already kind of fitting. The next stage of EQing is going to be to push the sound forward in the mix without having to raise the volume up. Makes sense?
Makes sense.
So here we go. I'm going to be inserting, let me get rid of the EQ section here. I'm going to be inserting, let's see. I need an EQ. So let me clear this out. I think for this, I might use, let's see, let's try one of the ones that are part of Mixbus. How are they called? Let me try to remember. They have a particular name. It's, so let's give me a second. Don't kill me. Oh, damn it. The things that I can't remember, IX or something, right?
You know the thing.
Axe, I think. No. Whatever.
Well, Robbie might know it.
Yeah, maybe Robbie, you can help me with this one because I am terrible with names. The built-in effects, the ones that comes with Mixbus. Let me see if I... XT, thank you. Those guys. Okay, let's see. Let's try the equalizer. Here is mono, of course. Insert. Thank you. Here is. I'll put it before the fader, after the compressor. These, if I recall correctly, come from the live consoles, right? So, with that being said, let's see first what the sound of the bass is again. You see that Mariana is louder.
Yeah.
Not a problem with that. But there is a particular point, a particular frequency point in which both of them are clashing. I think I might even apply an EQ first to Mariana. So let's do that. I'm going to copy this guy. But is Mariana mono? I think it is, yes. There we go. Again, we're going to use the same technique. This is the one on the bass. I want the one on Mariana. Yeah, perfect. So let's see. Mariana sounds like this. Yeah, that bend. So I'm gonna dock it to taste. Could you hear the difference?
I think so. It's so subtle, but I do think it's making it a little bit clearer, the interaction between the two basses.
Yeah, the plan is just to start to add a little bit of definition to the performance. I'm gonna move also this fader, this frequency. I think this could be beneficial as well. Let's see. Now we're talking, right?
Yeah, now we're feeling
This
it.
was very, very, very noticeable. The sound is kind of clearer now. We got a much more puncher kick in the rear kick drum, and also the figure or the pattern played by the actual electric bass is a little bit more audible. Good. Now, and yes, Robbie, the XT range is actually very good, and I think it's part of their digital consoles, if I recall correctly. I might be wrong. The ones that use they produce Mixbus for live shows. Now let's take a look. And by the way, they come built-in as Robbie is mentioning. If you are not familiar with Mixbus, this XT line, it's built-in. It comes also loaded with Mixbus. It's very good. You can buy them as individual plugins, if I recall correctly, for other DAWs. But if you get Mixbus, they come as part of the package.
That's pretty good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Now let's see what we can do on the bass. I'm gonna probably boost the 4K. Let's see, to add a bit more of the attack. How about that?
Very good. It feels more present.
It's more present, and you saw that I didn't boost the output of that channel.
Yeah.
I'm just, of course, you can make the claim that you're boosting almost 4 dBs on the 8K band on the EQ. Therefore, you're increasing the volume. Yes, I am increasing the perceived volume. The output is still the same. So, of course, whenever you work with an equalizer, you either increase or decrease the output of any source. That's what an equalizer does, because it's a volume controller, frequency-based. Isn't it, Thiago?
Indeed.
Could that be probably the first thing that you learned about audio?
Yeah, just after
Signal routing?
yeah, and always make sure of voltage.
Oh yes. Voltage are important. Yes. Okay, so it's starting to sound much more put together thanks to the EQs. Now, I think I could add a little bit of extra punch, but maybe to the kick drum. Let's take a look at the kick, and let me bring in the EQ. Look, I don't know if I would like to apply. Let's try this. I'm gonna go for the EQ on the Mixbus channel strip. I'm gonna be boosting a little bit more the kick, the low band on this EQ, this section over here. Now that we got a much more clear low end on when it comes to the relationship between the kick and the bass, because now the bass is a little bit open, much more open-ended. Maybe we can push a little bit more of the lows from the kick. Let's see. We could,
That's a very ballsy kit.
and
kick.
we rejoice. Awesome, right?
Yeah, no,
Very
good.
cool. Now I'm gonna play a little bit more of extra low end, going back to my bass, but not the bass itself. I'm gonna go for Mariana, and usually Marianas tends to be pretty.
Do they?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Mariana is a female name, by the way, for those of you who are not familiar with those names, and they tend to be quite cute, in my humble opinion. Okay.
What a derail.
Total derail. Okay, but let's go for the tried and true, obviously Pultec EQ, and let's go for this bad boy here. I'm gonna be inserting that guy. Oh, Mariana. okay, you get. I'm gonna keep it PG,
Yes, please.
but probably you got it. And look, EQ number 2, because right now we're rocking 3 EQs in succession. First, I'm gonna see. Yeah, we can have everything on display.
Want me to remove the overlays?
No,
or-
that's okay right now, because I just want to have a Mariana and also the EQ, the Harrison EQ, and the second EQ, the XT.
Okay.
Pay attention to what we did to the EQ first. This is the first EQ in the chain. It's basically cutting, removing stuff.
Yeah.
Then we went to the next one. Attacked a particular frequency that is not necessarily speaking controlled by the Harrison EQ, going a bit more surgical. And now that we got a much more open-ended and tight sounding EQ, or not EQ, low end, I'm going to insert a little bit of extra boost on the low end for the entirety of the mix through the use of the Pultec EQ on the bass sound. Why? We're going to be doing the famous Pultec trick, which is pushing and cutting the same frequency, creating an incredibly interestingly sounding and very beautifully recreated by Universal Audio resonance point. And also we are going to be actually adding a little bit of extra kick on the attack, probably by hitting maybe at 8,000 hertz. Allegedly, I'm boosting because unlike the low end, this is much more of a picking shape rather than shelving, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So first, lows. And I think I might hit 30 hertz. Let's see. Love it. Could you hear the difference there? They say
Yeah.
went super subtle.
Yeah, no, but I feel that when you were working on the low end, it added a little bit of it became a little bit more rounded the sound, and on the high end it actually gained a little bit more presence because even when you were just dealing with the low end, if I felt that it was losing a little bit of presence, even though it was gaining sound, it was sounding better.
And you see that I went a little bit bananas on the boost for the high end. We're hitting 5, whatever that means. And I open up the bandwidth of the band a little bit, almost quite a lot. I kept it hitting the alleged 8,000 hertz. Why? Because it's a very broad peak, or it's a very broad band okay.
Yeah.
So it's covering plenty of frequencies, just using the 8K as the starting point. Okay. I didn't feel the need of hitting the attenuator on the high end because this is not a shrieking instrument. It's super low endy.
Yeah,
So very. So what I did is apply a little bit of the attenuation on the low cut, on the low boost, because you can see that I applied a little bit, not that much of the low boost. And what we're doing with this is adding a little bit of extra push to the kick drum. I'm going to press play again, and I'm going to start off bypassed. This is one of those moments in which I recommend you to close your eyes because it helps for your brain to focus all of your brain power on the sound rather than what you see. Okay, you will notice it as soon as I engage it again because it's something that you will feel. It's not necessarily something that you can hear. Okay, off. It's very obvious once you know what to look for.
Yeah.
Could you describe it?
It felt like the kick was more present actually. Even though we're dealing with the bass here, it felt like the kick was a little bit more not even punchy, more focused.
Exactly, because we're actually boosting the correct frequencies. Now, Robbie here is saying that at 30 was clashing with the kick 100%. It was a little bit too roomy, not too roomy, too boomy. And 60 is usually kick territory. We're actually working on Mariana, not on the kick or the bass. This is on Mariana, and with at 110 work better, maybe, or it might not. How do we know? Testing. Here we go. Could you hear the difference?
Would you mind showing me again, please?
Somebody's not paying attention. It was super obvious. Okay, once again, we're going to start at 60, then I'm going to go to 100, and then we decide, okay? Could you hear the difference now?
Yeah, and I think personally I like 100 better. I think it was a little bit more, it was popping through more.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah?
Yes, because 60 feels tighter. 60 feels put together. With the 100, I could hear it's drawing more attention, as Robbie's saying. And I prefer the 60 because it feels much more controlled. The entire thing's even adding a little bit of a sense of glue, if that makes sense to you. I'm not ruling out using 100, being very frank, but to my ears, at this stage of the mix, I prefer to stick to 60.
Okay.
But due to the reasoning that I presented, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Because even though it's more noticeable, here's the catch: you're not mixing you can quite easily begin the laser focusing, or what was the term that I explained to you the other day?
Tunnel vision.
You develop tunnel vision.
Mhm.
You develop tunnel vision because right now, since we're paying too much attention to the sound of the low end, we might react better to the stuff that is noticeable.
Mhm.
Because at this point, if you start to focus only on the low end, the rest is ignored, and wherever you do to the low end that makes the low end or whatever you're doing more palpable to you is gonna be probably the one that you like the best.
It's gonna feel like it's better.
Yeah, but later on, when you come back to it and you start to work on something else after a while, and you come back to this, you're gonna realize, wait a second, I was struggling with something. Oh, it's this. Get me?
Yep.
Again, I'm not saying that it's incorrect, but I couldn't feel confident on pushing the 100 right now because there is much more things to be covered. And at this stage, 60 is not that big of a bump, but it helps quite a lot on the weight of the
Kick.
the kick.
Yep.
It's making it heftier. Get it?
Mhm.
Okay. Attenuation. Oh, you meant attenuation. Yeah, maybe applying a bit more attenuation to the 100. It could be. It could be because as it is right now, without changing the parameters, I could actually hear the effect, making it way too noticeable and drawing too much attention to it. But maybe by increasing the attenuation on the 100, we could get a much better sounding kick. I'm gonna give you the benefit of testing this out. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this guy. I'm gonna paste it to B. Look at that.
Okay, that's cool.
Man, that's been done since forever. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna be using 100, and let's cut to taste the attenuation. What do you think?
I think using the reasoning that you just exposed to us, even with the attenuation, is still kind of drawing attention to itself.
Because when I go back to the 60, it feels the kick. There is air being pushed, and I prefer that sound rather than a much clickier kick because the click's already cutting through. Not a bad attempt, and it's not a bad idea. But in my head and the vision that I got for the track, going for 100 is not necessarily what I'm looking for. But what do I know? Because I'm still looking. Due to reference. Okay, let's continue. But I still haven't found. Sorry. I sucked at my references today. Okay, now let's go for the pads and the synths because that's the most important or the objective for this live stream, this session. I'm gonna be working probably with the Moog, or let's see. Let me find one of the consistent one. Let's go for a pad. Here we go. This pad sounds like this. Very busy. Very, very busy. Now, what can we do? First, let's see what kind of effect it's having in the mix. We spent a good chunk of our time listening to the low end. Now, this is going to be a good refresher. Pay attention to the sound. Once again, I'm going to solo it. Get familiar with it. Then I'm going to press play again, but in context. But now, try to focus your attention on this sound. Okay, here we go. Everything. Okay. How could you describe the sound?
The sound itself,
Yes, but in context.
it's interesting. It has quite a lot of motion to it, but it's very cloudy as well.
It's cloudy, right? It has plenty. It's not that feels like it's very filtered because it is. And it has a particular notch that at certain points, because this is I think it's a sampler. It's a sampler, and we created this sound using a sampler and doing all sorts of stupidity in Bitwig. And one of the things that I did, if I recall correctly, I actually have plenty of not automation, but LFOs moving around. And one of those guys at certain points creates either a super high pitched, kind of screechy frequency, and at some points it's super nasal, like because it's moving, right? We have to control those. How? Dynamic EQ. First, let's attack that guy. I think what we're doing here with the EQ is working. I might give it a try. Give a try to the highs. Maybe I'm gonna increase the highs a little bit just to see if we can add a little bit more air. Here we go. Better, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the thing, right? The vocals. Like it. But by doing this, I could hear even more those, that kind of a whistle kind of thing that it's only happened once. But when it happened, I didn't like it. So let's address it. I'm going to insert, in this case, we're going to go for BX, not to be confused with BS. That was sorry, I'll take a look. Dynamic. Look at that! How convenient. Dynamic EQ by Brainworks.
Alakablam!
Okay, good. I'm gonna put it after, before the fader, obviously. Okay, we're gonna be trying to chase that particular frequency. And for whatever reason, it always confuses me how to get this guy going for the first few minutes. Why? I don't know why. But as soon as I get it, it works, okay? So bear with me because it's usually a struggle in my head. Now, first, let me check that we got the appropriate channel. Yes, it's inserted correctly. And let's check our region. Perfect. Here we go. So I'm going to be applying this guy. And that's it. Here we go. You can see over here that at certain points, let me make sure that it's fully visible, it ducks. The red line is what we're trying to hit. And right now we're using the dynamic EQ and I set it to cut, okay? So that's why it's ducking. If I push it the other side, you'll see what happens. It increases, it does the opposite, right?
Yep.
So the plan is for us to duck it. Could you see the difference?
Yeah.
I'm going to increase a little bit the release because I have it right now set stun, fast and fast. I want to make sure that it's not just catching the spike, but also kind of smoothing out the release. But we got to be careful because I don't want this to be pumpy, if that makes sense to you. I don't want the effect to be noticeable. I want just to smooth out the sound. So let's see. That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Could you understand the principle? Could you describe it?
Of what the thing is doing.
What I just did.
So basically, there's a spike going on in the sound, and you wanted to catch basically that.
Yes.
From what I understand of the tool at hand now, the dynamic equalizer basically is EQing, but based on a level threshold.
Yes.
Whenever that particular frequency goes over a certain level threshold, it docks. And basically, I can see why it's a tool for a job, because that particular sound at that particular frequency peaks at a given point in time, and only then the thing brings it down and it feels smooth.
Look at you, Andrew Schweppes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look at that. Somebody's learning. Good. Yeah, but that's actually the point. I was inclined to go berserk and actually do the same, but on an MS fashion. Should we? Yeah. I'm going to copy again, and we're going to be using the fantastic Brainworks stuff. Paste. Now we got the same, but twice. No more. Now it's going to be doing this thing on the mid side. And I'm going to be doing it at different rates. Because my plan is to attack, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive on the sides, because I can hear it mostly on the sides. Let's see, once again. And I'm going to be using my reference point over here.
Yeah, because I do think you found the frequency. I think that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Let's see. It seems that it's only happening in the mid.
Is it because you need to lower the threshold on the sides, maybe?
Maybe. Let's see. So good.
Yep.
So good. Have I said?
That it was so good?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very good.
Good. It's actually very good. Very good. That scratch a bit ear piercing 100%, man, it's awful. But now with this, it feels smooth and buttery. And once again, Mr. Andrew Schweppes saves the day. Because he was right. We should have pushed a little bit more the threshold. Well done. Look at you. We should be swapping. We should be sitting we should be swapping shares.
Yeah, I think that every day as well.
Yeah, it shows. Okay, let's continue. Let's see now how it sounds in context. Just like butter. Yes.
No, it is indeed a lot better, because the sound was already very cool, but it was cool with an annoyance. Now you got rid of the annoyance and it's only the cool left.
Just the cool shit. Yes, exactly. And here Rob is reminding somebody that there was a particularly somebody meant to be mixing at one point as a promise.
Was it? I can recall.
I don't know who he's talking about. So,
Well, what Tiago are you talking about, Robbie?
I don't know. Nobody mentioned the name.
Yeah.
So we're talking about. Well, no, we will. That's actually going to happen. But let me come up with something stupid, hard as balls to mix, so we can have a proper comedy show. Okay, but it will happen. Okay, now coming back to this. I'm liking it now. It's fitting way better in the mix. But this is one of those sounds that I could actually either apply a bit of. We could begin applying sense, in a sense, parallel effects, or adding a little bit of modulation, extra modulation to the track itself. Why? It's a pad, and pads tend to be very boring because they're kind of monolithic. And even though this one has plenty of movement, by squashing those annoying ear-piercing byproducts of the modulation applied during the production cycle, we kind of decrease a little bit the modulation,
Yeah,
the movement of the sound. What? How about if we add a little bit of flanger, but not just regular flanger, insta flanger? You don't believe me? Shit. There it is. And it is instant.
Instant flanger.
Okay. So I wasn't joking. Okay. Now let's see. This is one of those moments on which I'm gonna be just applying the as the old adage says, FAFO. Okay. Here we go. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Okay, let me explain. This is a digital recreation of the instant flanger box created by Eventide several decades ago, part of their Clockworks lineup. And this is very cool sounding, as you could hear. Flanger, and in traditional Eventide fashion, the controls makes no sense whatsoever. And they're meant for you to be just fiddle around until FAFO in. Actually.
Yeah.
And what I did is I changed the mode from depth, which was creating that gigantic resonance point that even though it was sounding very cool,
It was a bit too much.
yeah, it was distracting,
Yeah.
to be very honest. So I went for a wider approach to the whole process, and it became lusher, right? Even give us the impression of the stereo field increasing,
Yeah, you did.
right?
It did, yeah.
Because of it's due to the modulation. Also, I went for little feedback because it's way too much, and also the depth over here. I tried to be kind of conservative in that sense. Now, this is the manual, which you saw. You move it and you find the sweet spot.
Yeah, the left side, the triangle was a little bit too noticeable.
Yeah, it was very in the nose, right?
Yeah.
But the wherever that is,
The whatever, yeah.
yeah, it feels natural, right?
Yeah.
Feels natural. So good. I also applied a little bit of a low cut because by applying the flanger effect, we started to get bumps in the low register as well because of due to the motion of the flanging. Okay, so I made sure that we didn't go bananas on those regards. Okay. I liked it. Did you like it?
I liked it.
Okay, so everybody's happy, I assume. So good. Let's continue. So you see the mechanics, right, or the idea behind this technique. Thanks to the use of the control, or thanks to the use of the dynamic EQ, we controlled that particular annoying super high pitch screechy sound, but in exchange of losing a bit of the motion of the pad. So inserting a flanger on the pad rather than using it as an external parallel mixing element, we could bring back a little bit of that motion, and to a certain degree we enhanced it. Because I went a little bit very, very conservative in the approach to the flanger. Because the issue with the reason why we didn't like the beginning was because the flanger was very audible.
Yeah.
And the plan was just to add the motion. And I think we got already the wavy thing.
Yeah.
Good. Now, let me check. What other pad do we got? Because right now I think I'm going to hit pads everywhere. Yeah, we got galores. So let's go for Fafo. Sounds like this. Best sound ever.
Of course, it's called Fafo.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what we did, but it's awesome. I think we actually copied the arpeggiator. No, I think I copied the output of the micro pitch coming in. And then I applied that stupidly powerful reverb effect by Sound Toys, the one that was free at that point.
Yeah.
Damn. This is good. But still, it's kind of busy. Has plenty of stuff going on. And looking at the EQ right now, it's already been used to clean up the space. But again, now that we're adding more and moving parts around, all of those previous moves are already adding a little bit of, are allowing for, extending the room for improvement. And here we're saying, for me, that's the pad that needs the main focus of the song, Algorithm, because it's the one that is the busiest. It sounds so good, but it occupies quite a lot of space in the stereo field, okay? So, what to do? Let's begin. Let's listen to the sound again. Once again, coming back to the same experiment or the same exercise. I'm gonna play Fafo, so you can get used to it, and then I'm gonna remove the solo, and we can listen to it in context. Pay attention. Incredibly big contribution to the track. So this puts this particular sound in a privileged yet contentious position, because it is privileged because we cannot get rid of it. It's so good, it's so important. The problem is that it's that important that it could be the one that gets in the way of the rest easily. And here, Robbie's saying the decision is which side to pan it to the slightly light of the left. Yeah, that's one of the solutions. Or we can even make it more stereo, adding a little bit of a spreader.
Okay.
Let's try first the spreader, because the spreader we could also lean a little bit to one side or the other, some of the energy. This could be the solution. So, first, what we're gonna do? I think the EQ is already doing a good job on cutting a little bit of that particular problematic frequency. But in this case, I'm gonna add another more advanced plugin. Let me see. Which one can we use? Because Brainworks has great MS stuff. Let me see. Because my instinct is telling me to go for the what's the name of that guy? The EQ.
Oh, the Mag.
Digital game.
Because the Mag, there's a mid side now, right?
Yes, but that's not as you'll see. Look, this guy, the Mag, the stereo version, it's fantastic because it has an actual MS circuit, but it's based on the shape of the EQ of the Mag. And in this case, I want to do something that increases a little bit, and I have control over the sound over the shape of the EQs.
Yeah.
Of the bands. This guy allows for it.
Every MS plugin is very daunting looking.
They are awful.
They're always like this.
They are always like this. So, what we're gonna do first? Let's increase the stereo width. How? Bam! Obviously. So I'm gonna be cranking this bad boy a little bit. Not too much, not too little. Just to give this sound a little bit more, much more of perceived width.
could.
Let's do it again.
Well, yeah.
Right now it's bypassed. And as soon as I click here, you're gonna hear the effect in action. Indeed, Robbie, this is one of the best plugins Brainworks ever did. Probably ever. And not just Brainworks, any company. This plugin is just fantastic. It's been around for almost 10 years now. And they haven't changed anything about it because there is no need. It's just great. When it got released, everybody was losing their living stuff out of their ears. I was there, and I couldn't afford it. And I was jealous of everybody who had it because it's awesome. And we only did the stereo thing, and it already gives impression of the track of this audio of this track feeling a little bit louder.
Yeah.
Because it's getting out of the way of the rest of the heavy stuff. By the way, the dynamic EQ on this is better than the previous one. Actually, dynamic EQ that I used is a stripped down version of the dynamic EQ in this guy. But since this guy is so goddamn daunting, I like to always go for the simpler one. Okay.
Yeah, you got way too much in front of you here.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna be adding a little bit of EQing on an MS fashion, which stands for the stuff that happens on the sides and the stuff that happens in the center. I'm gonna be applying a little bit of a low cut to this sound, but on the center, on the mono section. Why? By doing this, we're gonna clean up even more the BC section that is the mid of the mix, leaving a little bit more space for the kick and the bass to go through, plus opening up space for the vocals further down the line. Here we go. Could you hear the difference?
Yes.
You couldn't. You're
I
lying.
could.
Why? Because I had the auto solo on. So since I never released this guy, we only heard the mono until I released it.
So my mind's playing tricks on me.
Yes, that was psychoacoustics at its finest. Let's do it again. Now you heard it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
The kick is hitting harder.
It's hitting harder, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't lose the meat and potatoes.
No, it's still happening on the sides.
Yes, exactly. Now let's play with the other side. Let's add a little bit of air to the sound. Let's see. I'm gonna set this frequency, this band, to shelf. This is the sides. Okay, everything that happens, not in the mid. We might be hitting probably. Let's F it 5K just for the lulz. And this is what we're gonna be doing, okay? But also, safety first, a little bit of a high cut. Low pass. Here we go. Let's do it again, because I could hear a little bit of a resonance point that I didn't like. Okay, I think that could work. Let's see. To taste. Allegedly. In action. That was beautiful. Sorry
Yeah.
for shouting.
Yeah, but it was quite good actually. Yeah,
That was indeed.
because the
But-
sound was annoying.
Yeah, but you could hear it after we started to mess around with shit, right? Sorry for the French, but I think it happened by as a byproduct of boosting a little bit the highs. It created this kind of extra resonance point. Again, this is not based on these graphs. The graph is showing you where you're actually attacking, right? This is not representing the sound. So a very common mistake is you think the sound that you're hearing looks like this. It doesn't. This is just the shape of the EQ. Okay.
Yeah.
And it happened to me, and I know that it happens to basically everybody who gets into this. That's why I prefer to work with the traditional stuff, because visually speaking, you can be the one you could be fooling yourself. Have you heard the plugin called Res? Which one is that, Rob? I think I kind of seen it, but since I am always trying to avoid getting into the marketplace of plugins,
Yeah, that's a bottomless pit.
it's a bottomless pit. But maybe I have. Please elaborate on that one. Okay. While Robbie comes back to us, look at this. Very stupid. I had to put the Instaflanger on top. It won't change anything. It might change everything. No, it won't, because we haven't pushed. We didn't make a big deal with the fader. Let's see. It did make a difference because we have a slight bump here on the output of the channel and of the pad, and being right after the fader, the Instaflanger was actually dependent on the output of the fader itself. So what I had to do, put it on top and then compensate with the input gain, so we can get very basically the same sound. Okay. And also granting us control over the output of the pad itself, because if I wanted to dock the pad down, since the fader is before the Instaflanger, the effect of the flanger itself will change based on the positioning of the fader, changing the entire dynamic. Okay, is it $20? Okay, not bad. But what does it do, Rob? Because I'm not familiar with that guy. Res, the plugin.
I think it's D-Res.
D-Res, okay, for the rest of you watching, if you know about it, please share your experience with it, because I have no idea. Okay, while Rob comes back to us, let's take a look at the next sound. We got, oh shit, this guy, and this is very important as well. Sounds like this. This is gonna be a nightmare. Could you see why?
Because it is all the core of the sound, or important parts of the sound, are in every frequency band.
Imaginable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it moves.
Yeah.
Has plenty of stuff going on.
Because it's kind of cloudy in the mix. The thing is that you can't truly cut a lot without losing meaningful sound.
Okay. Yeah, indeed. And Robbie is coming back to us. It locates resonance points quickly and dynamically. Okay. Now I'm gonna give it a look. Okay, but now coming back to this mess.
You went kind of nuts with the sound design with this track.
That was the point. That's what happens when I use Bitwig. That's my issue. Because it inspires you to go stupid. Okay, let's see. We got this incredibly complex sound. Let's see what we did with the EQ. Obviously, we boosted and cut. Because I like what it's doing. The only thing is that I think that it's slightly unruly. We didn't do any form of compression, so let's play with the compression first. I'm going to use the built-in. What's going to be the objective is trying to clamp down. So we're gonna go fast, and also we're gonna release fast. So leave it on the edge. And I don't want it to be that insane, so I'm gonna keep it on the leveler. And let's see, to taste. Well, not to taste. This is random. Here we go. Very interesting. Because if I bypass it, we gain the dynamics back. But if I insert it, we control the entirety of the sound. See how little I'm compressing, right? But this is one of those moments in which we gotta be very clever on what we're planning on doing. And to make it even better, let's see how it first. Coming back to this. I'm gonna try to change the ratio because I like the way that it was compressing over here, but it was compressing too much. It's better. Could you hear the difference? Because this is one of those moments in which it feels rather than sounds.
Yeah, this was, even though I think you were compressing more, this one felt smoother.
The thing is that I lowered the threshold, but I decreased the ratio.
Yeah.
So I could push a little bit more liberally the amount of information coming through, or making the compressor react to even less. But as soon as it crossed the threshold, just compress this tiny bit and this fast. Why? Because I wanted to just control the sound. This will allow me to either push it a little bit more or EQ it through a much more in a much more aggressive fashion. Let's see once again. Yeah, I think this is a good push forward. Now, let's see if I could add a little bit of extra EQing. Again, I'm gonna keep what I did with the EQ here because it's already doing a great job. I like this sound. But now that we added the compression, we might need to be a little bit more surgical. Maybe we can go once again for the backs, for the VX digital, but I think this is a good candidate for the Mag that you mentioned. The MS. Such a great idea. Just looking at it.
And this one actually looks good. It's the only MS plugin that I think looks good.
Yeah, it's not as daunting, right?
Yeah.
Because it kind of makes sense. The skeuomorphism does its job.
Yeah.
The other guy looks like damn. Okay. This is the Mag. Thiago's favorite EQ probably, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
The fact that somebody can have a favorite EQ says many things. Okay.
Is the MS version of this also based on hardware, or this is only digital?
No, this is only digital as of today. You can do it on the analog realm by having an MS matrix first
And 2 max.
and 2 max.
No, 3 max, no?
No, 2 max.
2, okay.
Because one is going to be hitting the mid and the other one is going to be hitting the side. Let's turn the mid side thing on. Now we are going to be controlling the center information is going to be controlled by this guy, and the lateral, the information happening on the sides is controlled by the right. Okay. First, being a Mac, the airband is king, and we're going to be working with the airband first. I'm going to be boosting the airband, but I'm going to unlink it. Let me make sure where's the link? Where's the link? Oh, here's channel link. Okay, good. Because I don't want to have the airband on both. We're going to be applying the airband, which is magical. Could you describe the airband?
Makes it prettier, more defined, and
Yeah,
better,
yeah.
and smoother. No, not smoother, but it does make it more defined.
It
and
kind of
better.
has a silky character to it.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
It is a beautiful
Yeah.
sounding EQ. So let's do it. I'm even this close from making this decision and buying actually preamps with the airband built in. I'm not decided yet, but maybe I should. Because what's the name of the guy?
Shalaba.
Shalabov is saying it, so maybe he might be right. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna be hitting probably 15. Is that 15? Lately, yes, it is. On the sides, we're gonna be boosting those guys, and by doing this, we're gonna start to change the stereo field, the stereo, the perception of the stereo field out of this guy. I'm gonna let Thiago explain that to you once I'm done with this, because I think he won't be able to do it. Let's do it. Isn't it awesome?
It is awesome.
Now, could you explain why it feels a little bit wider, even though we haven't engaged anything over here in the stereo width?
I think
Use logic and reason.
it feels wider
Don't use Cubase. That was awful. Again,
Because-
I take it back.
because since you already cut quite a lot of the. Let me see.
I haven't cut.
No, not here. I'm thinking of other stuff that you did before.
Do I have to remind you that you gotta keep this entertaining?
No. The thing is, you made a question that I don't know the answer to, and
Okay.
I'll only kind of know the answer to if I think on the answer for a bit.
Okay, it's gonna take you 3 days to get to that conclusion. No, it's
Yes.
easy. Let me explain. Look,
Go.
it already feels a little bit wider because we are increasing the volume of the airband that affects the sides.
Mm.
If everything began like this, mid and side are at the same level, this is mid and this is side, okay? By increasing the side, the perceived stereo feel of it, not field, feel, it's increased. Because
Because
this,
louder on the sides.
yes,
Okay,
okay, makes sense?
makes sense.
Good. That's why when you do this kind of MS stuff, you gotta do it with care. It's not that you're gonna be facing issues, phase-related issues, coherency issues, quickly, but you can. Okay. Now I'm gonna be applying a little bit of cuts once again on the mids, but maybe this area, and let's switch. The controls are very easy to understand, even though it looks kind of easy, it's not that easy. These over here are actually controlling the frequency band the frequency which this band is affecting, and this is telling you the width of the band itself, the Q. So I'm gonna be probably hitting the 200. It makes sense because it's usually not 200. This is 200, perfect. And I'm gonna go a little bit broader in scope. Again, we're gonna be working on the mids. Pay attention to some of the stuff that happens, the lead sounds, and a little bit of the kick and the bass. Okay. Since this is not necessarily heavy on this frequency range, I'm gonna be very, very subtle with the amount of information I'm gonna be cutting out of this guy. Here we go. Could you hear the difference?
I think so. It was subtle, but I felt that the lead sound, the random lead sound, was cutting through a little bit better.
Yes, it's cleaning up a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
Now let's play with the soft clip. We're gonna add a little bit of quasi compression. Here we go. The filter is fantastic as well, because I added the low cut, low pass filter to the sides, and I smoothed out a little bit the sound of the air.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of audible, right?
Yeah.
And it felt correct. Now, I'm gonna play a bit of low cut once again, but now on the other side. This guy, okay?
The center.
The center stuff, once again, opening up a little bit more space for the kick. Liking it? But one more thing. What if we only have the information that is the higher register to go to the sides, while the low mids are still in the center?
All right.
You can do that.
Okay.
Introducing the stereo maker, the mono maker. Bam! This bad boy, if we push it, we're gonna just tell which frequencies out of wherever is going through this guy are gonna be set exclusively to the mid.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's do it. Isn't this amazing?
That's actually incredible. But isn't that very dangerous when it comes to mono compatibility?
100%. No, this is actually to preserve mono compatibility, because we're forcing certain frequencies to stay within the mono range. You even saw my correlation here meter getting better, because we are kind of making the whole thing be phase coherent everywhere. So it's good. That's why it sounded better. Very good. So good that I'm gonna call it a day. Okay, so let's save this guy as it is right now. This is gonna be MS stuff. There is. So this is the point in which we're gonna be comparing the mix as we started and how we got it, or how it sounds at this very point. Okay. So get ready for your destructive criticisms. Okay?
Yes.
So whenever it's MS stuff is everything we did today. Whenever it's push forward is where we started. Here we go.
we find the trail and cast aside the blackened veil. Oh, the blackened veil, it blinds the day, steals the colors, plays the way. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless nights. But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains and mended wings. A spark defies the shadow's gale to tear apart the blackened veil. 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 The blackened veil.
Subtle but fair. No, what do you think?
I don't even think that was subtle. It was actually way bigger of a difference than I imagined
Yeah.
as we were running through the whole thing today.
Yes.
The all of the MS work showed quite a lot, basically on everything that is in the center. The kick is hitting harder, the bass is hitting harder, the voices they're popping through better.
And we did nothing on those.
Yeah, but they are cutting through better, and also the track as a whole feels a lot more immersive.
Polished.
Immersive, I'd say. Like
Yeah,
it feels like
a
kind
little more-
of it's surrounding you.
Surrounding you, but
Yeah.
also I would also use the word polished, because it has a little bit of the feels more hi-fi. I don't know if that makes sense to you,
Yeah, yeah.
because it feels a little bit more. I would say immersive, as you said, because it's a little bit more expansive sounding, but also it feels more detailed and
it does.
more kind of put together. Once again, not trying to beat a dead horse, but you see why I put so much emphasis on not using the 100 on the Pultec, because it's kind of helping the compression. Remember that we're mixing to a compressor. The stereo bus compressor is already engaged, and by applying that boost on that particular frequency on the kick and between the kick and the bass, the compressor was acting better, man. It was doing something there.
Yeah.
And also remember that we also have the rack rocking the entirety of the time. The whole mix is going through this monstrosity over here. So it gave a much more ballsier sound. Now, on your end, what do you think, guys? Robbie here is saying that he's going to send another harmony vocal for the end vocal. Yes, let's see what happens. Just make sure that you print it correctly, man, because if it's just the very ending, it's going to be impossible to match it. Especially because we're basically not mixing, okay? Just print the whole thing. But all in all, let me summarize. We did plenty of stuff that kind of felt disjointed at certain points. I can't. I will give you that particular benefit, if you might say so. But the bigger picture. Once we play back the whole thing, is when, oh, wait a second. Especially when we made the comparison, when we did the referencing point, the referencing thing. What else? We explore MS. What do you think about mixing in MS?
It's insane. The power of all of the MS tools, they are quite incredible, being quite honest.
But you understood the principles behind it, not how it works, but the reasoning behind them.
Yeah.
Because it took me years.
No, of course, I understand in theory, but it makes sense that some stuff, the core of it is on the sides, or the stuff that is relevant to it is on the sides. And more than anything, about clearing space on the middle, on the mid, for the stuff that has to be on the mid.
But without destroying what it's also contributing.
Yeah.
Because think of the vocal thing, the one that we did in reverse, or not reverse, the super affected sample. That guy is the one on which I applied the mono maker.
Mhm.
You saw how much the song grew by turning a good chunk of the sound coming out of that track, forcing it to go mono,
Mhm.
because it helped with the heft of the entirety of the mix. Because one common mistake, and this is something that I learned the hard way, when you discover the use of stereo wideners and MS stuff, you start to feel like, okay, this is the way. Everything should sound super wide and super large and super everything. But you'll soon realize that your mixes are sounding super weak and brittle. Why? Because you're basically removing the actual energy. The way I like to look at it is on the sides is where you find the detail and the excitement and the definition. But it is in the middle where you find the energy, the actual meat and bones of the whole song.
Mhm.
That's why usually effects will happen on the sides or stereo.
Yeah.
See what I'm trying to say with this?
Yeah, makes sense.
So very, very important. And just as a reminder, you can actually do the whole thing, MS thing, on the stereo host as well, if you were inclined to do so. It's not necessarily, it's not a better take. It's simply gonna take us to different results. Have I done it? Yes. Do I recommend it over traditional stereo compression and stuff? It's based on the material you're working on and also the flavor of the month. If you feel like it, go for it. Just be aware that you gotta be mindful of keeping your stereo coherency correctly in check. Now, here Rob is saying the biggest change was using the digital B3, cutting mono frequencies out. Good point. That filter also made a huge impact to the track. But not the filter itself alone, because remember that we also use that EQ to increase the stereo width of that particular sound. I think it was this guy. No, this is the dynamic. This guy right here. This MFR. Yeah, remember that we increased the width handsomely, and also applied a little bit of polishing to the sides, and here's the low cut that we apply to the mid range,
To the big chungus.
the big chungus, because this is the pad that it's actually beefing up the sound. One thing, by the end of the track, the benefits of all of the pushes that we did in today's session weren't as palpable as they were at the beginning. Why? Because a good chunk of the instrumentation that we worked on disappears by the end, because we swapped positions. We used in the composition, we're swapping sounds, not position. We're changing the texture of the sounds used to create the position, to create the particular section of the harmony. Make sense? I think it does.
Yes.
And also, we have an extra layer of low end that is not being worked on yet, which is Monarch. Okay? So, from here onwards, we kind of lost a little bit of the extra stuff we did. But don't be afraid. Of course, we're going to be working with the rest of the mess next week. So, stay tuned. And I would recommend you, once again, if you're in the marketplace of plugins, get the VX Digital, because it's so good. You saw how musical it is, and it's even it looks like a demon. It's actually once you understand it, it's very easy to use, and the potential for it is very very much infinite. It's one of those plugins that once you understand how to use it, oof man, you gravitate towards that bad boy every goddamn day on every mix. Okay, so with that being said, thank you for joining, thank you for watching, and Robbie, whenever you send the audio file, extra audio file, let me know through the different mediums. It can be the Discord, it can be the on-session wire. You call the shots, just let me know, okay? And for those of you who haven't subscribed to the channel, I recommend you to do it, because we do this on a weekly basis, and also we also upload videos related to the daily work here in the studio, either mixing, recording, producing, wherever.
Whole shebang.
All the whole shebang, and tips and tricks related to the whole thing. Okay, and he's gonna be going on holidays. Okay, so do it before you go. because that way we can keep up with the mix, because it's very important to have the entirety of the tracks required for a session, especially when mixing, because I'm gonna allow you to do it because we're still in very early stages and I haven't touched the ending of the track, so none of my decisions will be affected by adding an extra instrument. Okay, just get the harmony as soon as possible ready, Robbie, so I can add it to the mix, because as I was saying, it's not a good idea to keep adding more, keep throwing more mud to the pigs, at the pigs when you're this close, when you are close to ending the whole project, the mix, because you're gonna change the entirety of the whole process. I think, Robbie, we are like 4 weeks away from finishing this mix, give it or take, but I would love to have those vocals, if possible, for next week. That way I can add it to the project and mix it in time, because since it's a harmony and it's a vocal take, it will have to be mixed alongside the main vocals. You get where I'm going with where I'm going with this, right?
Yep.
So please, try to get it as soon as possible. That's my only request. With that being said, thanks for joining, thank you for watching, and if you want to support this channel, like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and also I have to tell you now that YouTube hates everything that is not liked or commented on. For real. It's not even counting them as views, allegedly. But we have some form of evidence to back up what we are saying right now. So if you want to support the channel, please like the video, at least. And also subscribe, do the whole shebang, and join social media, such Instagram and X, because that's the best way for you to get in touch with us on a much more personal basis. And also follow us on, everything. Discord. Yeah, subscribe to the Discord. That's it. So, with that being said, as usual, I only have to remind you that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember that I will see you when I see you. Get the MS stuff, it's great.